welcome back to allfreecrochet.com. Had a viewer yesterday say, Mikey, you need to do something about breast cancer awareness. You need to put an activity together, a particular tutorial to help support that. And they asked me if I knew that Bernat is actually running an actual campaign to help breast cancer awareness. And of course I know about that. I was going to do something like that last year, and here's my excuse. I learned about the yarn after breast cancer awareness month was gone. So I picked up the yarn anyway because I thought to myself, well, this is a really great idea. So this viewer yesterday got my mind thinking while I was in bed hooking last night, and I thought, well, I have the yarn. It's called Ruffle. Let me put more information right down there, and you can actually make a decision whether you want to use this stuff. Now they're using many different kinds of yarns, but they're all pink theme within the campaign. But this one being unique like it is a really great tutorial to run, because when you look at it you think to myself, what do I do with that? How do I operate that? There's got to be a way to use that. So I'm going to show you how to work with the Ruffle. It's actually very simple. Now what you're seeing here, Daniel says that I got laid at Hawaii because of the way that it looks, because it's taken a round shape. The reason for it is that there's only 6 particular stitches going across all the way through. Maybe 9, maybe even 12 would have been better. It would have made it more flat, but it all depends on you how much of it as an accessory and how much of it is going to be practical. So let's get started on using Ruffle to make a breast cancer awareness scarf just for yourself. To get started, let's examine the scarf a little more carefully. You're going to notice that it's kind of like ruffling, kind of like waves turning it onto itself. It's just the way that the yarn is designed, but in actual fact, it's actually all just flat, just like so. So just the way that it's designed wants to curl in on top of each other, which is making it kind of like the ruffling look. So let's look on how it comes off the yarn ball, just like so. Okay, so it's going to look all bunched up just like so, and we just want to pull it apart. Okay, and once you get your rhythm, it actually goes really easily. So let's examine what we have. We actually have 2 layers. So we have here, and we have this little section, and then a gap, a little section, and a gap. So where we want to operate with this yarn is actually right in the gaps in between the top sections right there. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to cast on, and as you can see how the bottom's kind of curling onto itself. That's exactly what you want. So let's begin to cast on. This is how I cast on. So if you have a different method that you most prefer and you don't want a needle between your legs, then by all means do what you feel most comfortable with. What I want to do is I want to have the loose end just like so. I want almost a foot of distance, and you could go a little bit longer, maybe a 1.5 feet. I'm going to want that on one side, and then this is going to the yarn ball, just like so. So what I'm going to just do is that I'm going to show you my peeling method. Okay, so I want to put the whole gap, so if I open it up, I want to put the gap onto the needle just like so, and this is going toward the yarn ball, and I want to get the next gap, so you can see that there's that piece in the middle like I showed, and we want to put that on. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to take this one and I want to peel it back. Okay, so let's work on to the next one. So see how this is part of what's already on the needle. We want to grab the next one along, put it on. Okay, we want to do the same on the other side, so we're just going to put the next one, so you see the gap in between. We want to put it on, and we want to take this one again and we want to peel it back. Okay, so let's try again. So gap on, gap on, and then we want to peel this back. Okay, so let's try again. Once you get into rhythm with this, it actually goes pretty quick. So rhythm on, so gap on, peel back. Okay, next one. So I'm recommending on my scarf there that we had only 6 across. I'm recommending maybe 9 to 12. It all depends on how much of a outlook that you want. If you want it more flat, then you've got to go more. And we're going to peel back. So I've got now, okay, so I got 5 on there. So I'm just going to show you with 6 on board because it makes the tutorial quicker, and once you understand the concept of it, then it's a matter of just working your way along. So gap on, this is the 6th, gap on, and then peel back. So then what we just have to do is that we just have to trim this at the end and just weave it into the bottom section, and now we actually have 6 stitches on our needle. So we're now up and on our regular position, and we just want to stick in our needle, just like you normally would with knitting. Now I find in the ends that the first gap that you will run into, and this is going to the yarn ball, this is the loose end that's hanging down, the first gap is a little bit too tight. Okay, so on the ends, when you're going to start one, I want you to skip to the second one over. So looking for the gap and skip to the second, reach up and put it onto your needle and knit as normal and slide off. So let's try it again. So just going underneath, okay, and we're just looking for the gap. And knit as normal. I find when you're starting with this project you'll be a little slow. It's just a matter of getting used to where the positioning of the yarn will be. But I'm kind of like holding that yarn in my right hand that you see on the screen so that it's not rolling up onto itself, because it can take a long time to unravel it every time. So I kind of want to keep my hands on it. So I'm now making my way to the end, just like so. You want to make sure you don't grab any of those ruffle pieces. You want it to stay right into the gap itself. And knit. Okay, so we're now done our very first one. So now we're done, and we just want to rotate back, and we still have our 6 stitches on. And so I just want to slide them all up toward the end and just stick our needle to behind, just like we have been on the first layer. We don't ever do anything more than this with this yarn. It actually is very simple this way. And again, we just want to skip. This is the first and the second. We want to skip over. Okay, just like so. Slide it on, knit. So I did the scarf that I was wearing in the original opening of this video. I did that in about, I would say about 3 hours. It could have been 4. I was doing other stuff in between, like watching videos and surfing the net and doing a lot of things in between. I was kind of doing many things. So we just want to knit as normal, going back and forth. Okay. And see, I've got the actual piece stuck in it, so I want to just slide it out a little bit. You don't want those ruffles to catch in. It's good to put mistakes on videos too, just like that. Because I don't want to really refilm, but you know, this will happen to you, so it's good to know what to do in case. So we're just going to keep going back and forth as long as you want to go. One ball will equal one scarf, and you can see that it's starting to grow nicely on your knitting needles. So we got a request. I ran a similar tutorial on this the other day. People are requesting, how do you cast off? So I'm going to show you the casting off process right now. So we just want to wrap it as we normally would. Okay, so leaving the gap. Okay, I'm going the second one over because I'm on the end. We take it to the side. Let's knit the next one. We go into the next gap. And with our knitting needles, we go to the very first one that we put on there. Go on and pull it up over the top. Okay, so let's knit the next one on the left hand side. And knit. And taking the needle over here, come to the bottom one and shift it over. Okay, so we want to knit. Okay, the first one is going to get moved. I want to make sure we actually do get it. Okay, we want to knit. So I'm kind of taking my time in the tutorial. I'm not trying to rush this. You know, it's once it gets, I swear to God, once it gets like almost like 2 inches long, this product gets a lot easier to work with. The project starts to relax on the needles, therefore it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to knit over, we're casting off, and this is the last one. So what I want to do now is that I want to trim the one that's going to the yarn ball. I want to trim it, and I want to pull it through here, tie it tight, and then weave in my ends like I normally would. And this is the Ruffle by Bernat, and this is a breast cancer awareness tutorial. And hopefully you enjoy, and you can find this yarn on Amazon and many other different websites, as well as in stores. Enjoy, have a great day.